Hey guys, I'm going to chat to you about my 7 stages of property development. This is a system that I've applied to every one of my property development projects over the last 11 plus years and a couple of $100 million of projects. I'm going to run you through each of the 7 stages, what it involves, and how you can apply it in your own property deals, whether that's an investment property, your own home, or you're looking at jumping and doing property development. Now, the simplest form of property development is actually building your own home or an investment home. So building a single house is even a great way to get started. There's definitely profit in building a single house as long as you're doing it in the right suburbs, in the right areas, and you're getting your design right, and you're also getting your costs and sourcing your builder right as well. Now, the first stage of the 7 stages of property development is number 1 is buying. Now, buying actually means not just going out there and buying a property that's on the market, that's at retail. This buying means getting something under market value, locking in a couple of $100,000 or more of equity, buying 10, 20, 30% under market value. And you can do that time and time again. If you know an area, you become what I call an area expert, and you actually look for a particular strategy in an area, and that strategy can make you 20, 30, 40% margin or whatever you choose it to be. So buying well means locking in your profits before you even start doing any physical works on the property. Stage 2 is a site analysis. That means getting the highest and best use for this property. So if you're looking at a particular development strategy, so say for example, you want to just do a couple of blocks of land, so you just want to split one block into 2, well then you need to source a site, buy it under market value, and then do the analysis to make sure that you're getting what I call, and what value is called, the highest and best use. So the highest and best use for this property may be 2 blocks of land, but a lot of the times these land lots, their highest and best use is actually a single residential house. So you need to recognize that your highest and best use for what you're looking for needs to apply to the property that you're buying. Hopefully that makes sense. Number 3 is planning. Now, it's all well and good to have this site analysis, but you've actually got to go get this thing approved, and that's where you involve council, and they stamp the document or stamp your application with an approval. Once you've got the approval, you can actually go and build what it is that's been approved. Or if you decide you may wish to on-sell this property with the approval. And I teach you how to add value, and a substantial amount of value, by doing the approval. Otherwise, there's literally no point. Why would you go to all this effort to go and get an approval from council if you're not increasing the value of the property? And there's ways, again, to be able to do this over and over. If you're buying in the right area, you're buying the right strategy that's suited for you and where you're at, and you're locking in your profits early, going to get the planning, and then if you're looking at constructing it, going through to completion, then being able to lock in even more profits through that phase. Stage 4 is finance. Now, that is the financing of the first or the site when you're actually buying it, but then also financing the construction. If you're looking at completing a property development project, there's no point in getting into it not knowing how much money firstly you need as cash, or if you're sourcing those funds from somewhere else. I'll show you how to do creative deals where you don't need to necessarily use your own money if you don't wish, and being able to lock in the finance so that you can actually get this thing built and realize the profits at the end. Stage 5 is sales. If you're looking at doing especially a bigger project, locking in your sales early, off the plan sales. Now, in the last 12 to 18 months with the market booming, even off the plan sales have been easy, but when the market's flat, there's collateral, there's things that you need to do to be able to get off the plan sales every single time. Now, I'll show you how to do off the plan sales, plus also how to sell to the retail market at the end once you're completed, because you want to buy in a wholesale market at stage 1, lock in the equity early on, but when you're selling, you want to sell to a retail market. Stage 6 is the construction. That's actually physically building the thing. Now, it's one of the last stages. It's a necessary evil to be able to do property development, but you don't even have to do any construction if you don't wish. You can on-sell the property with the permit, with the approval in place, but generally there's more profit to be made if you go through to the construction. So construction is just one stage out of a 7-stage cycle. And I bang on about construction not being the most important step, because all the money is actually made before you even get to construction. So there's plenty of builder developers that I've seen that try and be developers. They're really builders, but then they try and jump over and see that developers are making all this money. So they're going to jump on this bandwagon. And what normally ends up happening is that they end up losing money on projects because first of all, they get the wrong approval. They don't do their site analysis, they don't do their numbers, and they think it's all about the building. They're going to build this thing at cost because it's their own project, and they're going to make the builder's margin and they're going to make the development margin. Most of the time I see builder developers either break even, they lose money, or they might make a little bit of money. So the construction, if you're not in the construction game, it's not the be all and end all, it's just one stage. It's actually knowing the other stages that makes all the difference. Finally, stage 7 is completion, so that means realizing the profits at the end. If you're looking at retaining your project, I think that's an awesome strategy, especially for building passive cash flow. So you got to look at how the stock is actually treated by the tax office at the end, and how you can look to roll on either as retaining the asset, refinancing it, pulling out your capital, and then doing another project, or maybe sell some, keep some, and how that's treated at the end. Plus, you've also got to get your plans sealed from council. Then you got to go to the titles office, lodge your sealed plans with the titles office. Then they split your titles up, and that enables you to actually sell the property or get the thing revalued with the bank so that they recognize it as multiple properties. Now, if you've got any questions, please let me know. These 7 stages I actually cover in a 6-week program. There's a huge amount of content. There is a small time commitment, and I say 3 to 5 hours a week to be able to apply these strategies properly and be able to make hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, from doing property deals and doing property development. Remember, property development, it's not about the construction. It's about all the stages all wrapped up together. Most of the money's already made before you even get to construction at all. Keep that in mind. Happy buying, happy developing. Talk to you guys soon and see you on the next one.